live at the Fire Nights podcast, man, and it's certain moments that you have when you do these things, and I think it's more the moment. These guys came from Woodland, Delaware. Where was you from?
Who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's Let me see him. Let me see him. Let me see him. Let me see him.
Listen, man, it's your boy D-Mac, man. Fire Nights Podcast.
Let me see him. Let me see him.
Yo.
Everything is all good.
Everything all good, bro.
Everything is all good. Welcome to the Fire Nights
all good.
playoff edition, discussion show, pregame show, whatever you want to call it. Welcome. Come on in. Bring your sausage, bring your eggs, make your pancakes, your waffles. You know what I mean? Hop a seat with us. Let's talk some football. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do me a favor, man. Give me the extended box, man.
I got you.
There we go.
I got you.
There we go,
Shout out
my
to
guy. Give me the
everybody
extended box.
tuning in with us this Sunday morning on this playoff super divisional weekend Sunday football. Shout out to our good brother JT. Thank you for the best, calling us the best podcast. Shout out to our good Mike Ace Pyramid with one of the best wrestling shows out there. Shout out.
No, the best, the most comprehensive wrestling show on the planet. Yes. Let's go, bro. Let's get it. First and foremost, man, well, happy Sunday. Happy football Sunday, man. We had a great football Saturday, which was action-packed, man. That was a crazy day, bro. That was a crazy day.
Yes, it was, man. Yes. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, man. I had a couple things going on at once, but I had my TV tuned into the Seattle Seahawks and the 49ers. I'm like, all right, cool. I actually was in my head. I was going with the Seattle Seahawks, and I was like, I was kind of playing out just the way I thought it was playing out. But in the NFL, professional football, and all sports, they played two halves. And the second half was total domination on stage. San Francisco is the name. 2023 is the age. Wiped them off the map. Showed the Seahawks they were not in their class. Smashed them. But I think we also want to talk about the nightcapper. Would you tell me what you saw last night in the game between the Jaguars?
Listen. It's funny, man, when you watch these games, right, and you see what's going on. And I've adopted the mindset that it is literally a tale of two halves, right? And I'm thinking to myself, there was a few trips that the Bolts took down the field, and he only got 3 out of them, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this is still a manageable game. And I was at a party last night, and I specifically remember people saying, well, we could turn this off. And I said, I'm like, I don't know, man, because it looks like the Jags were spinning wheels. You know what I mean? You know how once you get some traction, you know what I mean? Then we could see what happened. And sure enough, they got a score. They got another score. And I said, man, it's a 2-score lead right here. This could get real interesting because I know one thing about this is you got two psychological things going on. And yes, two things can be true at the same time because you got one team gaining confidence and momentum, and what's happening on the other side? They're losing confidence and losing momentum. So we've seen this before, you know what I mean? Even with bigger leads than this, where you can almost see it when it's about to happen almost.
Yeah.
Because a team, all of a sudden, a team literally, they come out the gate, they firing on all cylinders, and then they go dead for just some inexplicable reason. And it's almost like that first possession of the team that's in the lead, that first possession in the second half is critical because you want to see if they've gained that momentum. And a lot of times what happens is they come out with either a turnover, a poor possession, or a 3 and out. Right. And the momentum is now squarely with the other team who's going into halftime with the momentum. And that's what happened last night, man, because I saw so many early reports of Trevor Lawrence's demise.
Whew.
I can count the amount of Facebook posts that I saw last night talking about, oh man, the stage too big for him and yada, you know. And like I said, it's two sides of that because then, you know, you have people hailing Justin Herbert. Oh man, the coming out party and yada yada yada. Well, man, as a guy we've watched for years said, Mr. Beano Cook, not so fast. Not so fast.
Not so fast, man.
Not so fast. What about the Jags have proven to be? The talent is there. They are explosive, and they showed that last night. Shout out to Duval County. Epic comeback. I got a question for you, though, bro. I got a question for you.
What's that?
Does this say more about the Jags or more about the Chargers?
To me, I think it speaks more about the Chargers. I think it's
in what way? About the Chargers. In what way?
I'm a person who believes that the talent on the field, regardless of the teams, you know, sometimes there are some outliers, but the talent on the teams is pretty much square eye to eye. You have some people, you know, some position groups or whatever may be better by a little bit, maybe by a lot. But to me, in the NFL, it all kind of averages out to me. So a lot of times around the margins is where coaching can affect the football game, you know, preparation, dedication, you know, all those things around the margin. That's why I say I give a lot of credit or place a lot of the blame and defeat of players. With that being said, they have been a team all together with all things being considered, they have been a team that has underachieved. Now, a lot of people have told me that they've had the requisite weapons, and I'm like, I will agree with you. But when you have the requisite weapons that everybody else has, when everything else lines up, it's around the margins. It's at the edges. It's where can you cut the angles? Can you cut the fat to where it's to your benefit and not your detriment? And that's where I'm saying where that team has been playing losing football and playing down or underneath their potential for quite a few years now. So I'm saying this says a whole lot about their team. They struggle really, to me, just to get into the playoffs. They should have, you know, talent based, like everybody say. They should have been in the playoffs the last couple of years. I'm like, man, y'all done heaped a lot on Justin Herbert, you know, for him to not win any of these games that people have placed all this, you know, these graces on him for. Now, when they get into the playoffs, it did not surprise me that they were a team that were underprepared for the playoffs. They've been underprepared for the regular season the last couple of years with all their talent. So it did not surprise me that they were underprepared, even though I thought, okay, well, I think around the margins, maybe this year they have gotten it. Obviously, in the moment, I went against my actual gut. Like, I know this is a team that does not have what it takes right now to win the games that a lot of people think that they should win. And last night was a very, very, very telling sign about them and what they got going on. The Jaguars, hey, man, they stunk like shit the first half. They should have been put down. They should have been put to sleep by any requisite measure by any other playoff team. They should have been put to sleep, period. They should have been put to sleep. They weren't. I have to place that blame a lot of the blame on a lot of the blame on the Chargers, but you have to give kudos to Jacksonville for having the requisite mindset, mentality, doing what they had to do to continue to fight. But I squarely place a lot more of the blame with the Chargers. I'm glad their season is over, and I can go back to openly hating Justin Herbert again.
Question. Okay, so with that being said, I think there's a coach out there, right? Because, well, first, it's a two-part question. Do you feel as though Brandon Staley's job is on the line? And how do you feel about Sean Payton in Charger land?
Well, to answer your first question, I would not be surprised if Justin Staley gets some type of information or called, to the carpet today. I would not be surprised. Actually, I'm kind of expecting something like that. I've heard rumblings. No, I haven't really heard anything from the Chargers, but I actually expect something like that because with everything being said, you've had the same talent that everybody else has had. Everybody's picking you guys to win. It seems like you are the biggest piece of this, of the reason why this has been going wrong. So I would not be surprised at all. And actually, I'm expecting him to be called to the carpet in due notice. Your second question, I guess you're saying, give me the second question again.
How do you feel about Sean Payton in Charger land?
Well,
or if you're Sean Payton, does this job intrigue you? If it becomes open?
Yeah, yes, I would say it intrigues me. He lives in Los Angeles. He's a coach that clearly says I'm getting back into coaching, hence I have a coaching staff without a coaching job. That will be a very exciting, inviting for that man to coach with the requisite weapons that they have. But one thing that I've seen about that team is the injury bug has bitten them in the ass a couple years in a row. And I don't know what's up with their strength and conditioning coach out there. But a lot of times, like they were down there, their best receiver this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he did
both of them, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, both.
Right. You feel what I'm saying? So it seems like a lot of times at key points in the season, they're always down a guy. Bosa's always out when when you really need him. Or this was a game that he played last night, and he still found a way to hurt you. You feel what I'm saying? He still found a way to hurt you. Austin Eckler, it seems like he plays a whole bunch of games, but he's missed a couple here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a weird situation with that there. So I would be looking at that situation like, man, look, can we get some guys that I can count on a little bit more? Derwin James has missed some time. Some other guys have missed some time. And it seems like to me they're a team that's a little bit more bereft of health around there. So I would definitely look at that. I would look at it with a side eye because I'm like, I don't know, maybe the weather in LA got you guys not working out like you need to work out because sometimes you're not available when I need you available. So to me, Sean Payton there, I would take a second look at it. I'll put it like that. At first look, I wouldn't just like, yeah, I'm jumping in. I would have to take me at least a second look.
Got you. So listen, let's get some good news out there. For all those wondering, DeMar Hamlin was at the Bills practice facility for the first time since he was discharged from the hospital. So that's good. Good for that man. I did read that the NFL and the NFL Players Union have elected to pay that man his full contract, it looks like. So that's another incredible development as far as that's concerned, because we all know how football players and their contracts are. None of them are guaranteed. So that's a big thing right there. That's huge to me. That's pretty huge. Another thing, Doug Peterson. Where does this put Doug Peterson? Does this kind of like validate him even more now? You know what I mean? Because number one, we have him taking, quote unquote, one of the non-sexy jobs. The only thing sexy about it was the fact that you had Trevor Lawrence. He guides them to the playoffs. Not only guides them to a playoff, but masterminds the comeback. Doug Peterson has I think this validates that Super Bowl win more than anything. I know his run the next year was pretty impressive, but I think this job this year validates him and kind of puts him in a position where now he's looked at like in that upper echelon of coaches as far as I'm concerned. Because this was big. This was a big reclamation project right here that he took on. And for him to do what he did in the fashion that he did, that's impressive, man. Shout out to Doug Peterson, man. Shout out to Dougie Peterson, man. Author of the Philly Special. Shout out to Dougie Peterson. This was a big one. It was a big one as far as his standing in the hierarchy of coaching.
When I look at Dougie P, man, I look at him with a little bit of, I look at him as a guy with a little bit of quarterback whisperer in him. You feel what I'm saying? Like not just head coaching. I think he has the ear of a lot of quarterbacks. I'll go back a little bit further. When Donovan McNabb was first drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles, Dougie P was actually the starting quarterback that he started under, because Andy Reid, everybody knows he's a quarterback whisperer. He said, "Oh, okay, well, I got this guy coming in. I want him to be tutored. I'm just becoming a head coach, you know what I'm saying? But I got somebody here that I want you to tutor under McNabb. McNabb is probably borderline Hall of Fame status, and he started under Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson, I want to say, started maybe the first 5 games of that season. He's like, all right, you take the reins, Donovan. And he went on to have a pretty damn good career. With that being said, he's been stewarding people all along the way. Quarterbacks here, there, everywhere. A lot of people don't understand that Nick Foles did very, very well under Doug Peterson. There's a guy in Indianapolis that did pretty goddamn good under Doug Peterson. You feel what I'm saying? He's got Trevor Lawrence right now under Doug Peterson. And this goes back to where I say coaching only really helps around the margins. This is pretty much the same team that Jacksonville had last year. But look what he got out of the team as opposed to Urban Meyer.
So let me ask this question, because you painted this tree, and it was Andy Reid, Doug Peterson. So it immediately got me to thinking, okay, so we got Andy Reid. We know how he is with quarterbacks and offenses. He's probably got one of the more dynamic offenses the NFL's ever seen over the past 4 years since Patrick Mahomes has been there. So naturally, my thoughts go to his offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, because if Doug Peterson picked it up, the guy under Andy Reid, who is the original, the quarterback whisperer, should Eric Bieniemy be a super duper red hot, mercury lava hot name right now because of what we've already mentioned?
Abso-fucking-lutely. I have no idea why teams do not want to win or have great offenses in the NFL, because the first thing that I would absolutely positively do day one of me becoming a general manager or owner of someone of decision-making status on a team, I would go and say, who the fuck is Eric Bieniemy, and when can we talk to him to become our head coach? I do not understand why people overlook the talent, the production, the flair, the innovation of all of the Andy Reid tree. If everyone is looking at football as a whole, it takes so much for people to be successful. A lot of people understand, and it is understood, that the offensive coordinator plays a very huge, significant part in things being successful on offense. Eric Bieniemy is a huge part of that. I have no idea why people do not want to partake in that success. It's sad that people don't want to partake in that success because it speaks to something else. To me, that's another topic for another day. But him being a part of, just like Doug P was a part of, just like some other coaches out there, John Harbaugh, a part of. You feel what I'm saying? There's some other coaches, they'll come to me, but they were a part of the Andy Reid coaching tree, and they all have had success. I do not wonder why. I do not understand why. Real quick.
So real speaking of Sean, I don't mean to break your train of thought, but as far as Sean Payton is concerned, news is that teams have contacted the Saints to interview Payton. Interested teams right now include the Cardinals, Broncos, and the Texans right now as we speak. So that's your short list for Sean Payton. Right now,
Chargers.
it looks like Brian Flores and DeMeco Ryans are among the candidates for the Cardinal head coaching vacancy right now.
Okay.
Intriguing job right there, but go ahead. Intriguing job.
You know that's you brought up. You just brought up a very intriguing name in that what you were speaking of, Brian Flores.
Yes.
Brian Flores is being considered for a head coaching job.
Yes. Didn't think that would happen.
Did not think that was happening. You know what? I want to give another shout out. I mean, I guess I'm starting to worship at the feet at the altar of Saint Mike in Pittsburgh.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy, man. There will be no Mike slander. There will be no Mike Tomlin slander on the Fire Nights Experience at any point in time. Not gonna happen.
That man is a saint. For him to sign that man to his coaching staff in that tumultuous time, you know what I'm saying? That actually kept him afloat. For them being good this year, I didn't see him getting any head coaching job consideration anytime, especially not in the near future. And like here he is.
Almost thought he would have been like excommunicated or blackball, kind of. You know,
man, that's awesome, man. But I think Mike Tomlin foresaw something that a lot of people ain't see.
Absolutely.
Like, no, let me keep him close to the fold, and he's
absolutely
conversation. That's
awesome. Shout out to Mike Tomlin again, man. Shout out to Mike Tomlin again. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Let's get to the day's docket, man. Let's get to the menu for today. Well, before we do that, I do want to give us a shout out to my main man Gino. You know, they wrote me off, but I didn't write back. Good season, Gino. I think that you can expect some things from the Seahawks next year. I think that Pete Carroll will go into this offseason and shore up some holes. They got an incredible young safety tandem that they can lean on for the next 5 to 10 years. They have got a slew of running backs. They still have DK Metcalf. They got the dependable Lockett, which I think you probably got to shore up and get yourself probably another receiver. You got Noah Fant. I don't know if you want to go with him moving forward. Noah Fant is a talented former first-round pick. I think maybe wide receiver is a need for them, but that is a solid football team right there. And you figure for them to have the playoff experience, you know, if they stick with Geno, which I think Pete Carroll will do, you can expect some things from the Seahawks. So shout out to Geno. Shout out to Pete Carroll. Pete, you knew. You had known. You be knowing. And we apologize. You knew. There's some pretty nasty things coming out about the guy, man. The previous guy there, man. And I don't know how I feel about it. It's
Sierra's
weird.
Husband?
It's kind of like,
Sierra's husband?
Yeah, that guy, man. Some pretty some nasty comments, man. Even Gino made some comments after the game. And I'm like, man, like look at the guy, you've already gotten past him. Like at this point, at a certain point, it's kind of like, we clearly saw who won that trade. Like that's the payoff. Like kind of like a lot of the pettiness about his character and who he was. We can kind of leave that alone because Russell ain't never bothered nobody. So what? Russell was perceived as corny, man. Russell ain't bothered nobody, man. Who cares? Who cares if Russell want to eat wheat thins and fucking drink milk and almond milk? Who cares, man? Who cares? Like for real, like. For real, man. Like we ain't gonna. All right, because he's not a fit for that team. That man won a Super Bowl, man. He's the greatest quarterback in that franchise's history. Period. There's no question. Like let's chill with all of the sniping and all of that, man. So he had a bad season with Denver. He looked bad, but that's one bad year. Let's not forget Russ's history. Russ is Seattle Seahawks football. He's still the greatest quarterback that team has ever had. So let's. You know, it's starting to bother. You know, it's starting not to sit well with me with a lot of the shit that's coming out about that, you know, about who he was and all that stuff. Like, come on, man. Okay, everybody's not gangster. You know what I mean? That man's an upstanding father, husband, all of that, man. If he do got any scandals in his closet, good job of covering them up. Good job of covering him up. But let that man be that man, man. Don't change who you are, man. Don't change who you are. You are being who you are got you this far. You know, being who you are got this far. You're probably one of the most successful rookie quarterbacks ever, and you've had an astounding career. If Russell Wilson retired right now, his career would be great.
True.
Lots of time to turn that around, man. So keep doing you, Russ, man. You know what I mean? Keep doing you. We got a Bengals fan that checked in, man. I would like to get Bengals Nation on here right now. I would like to get Bengals Nation on here right now to get their thoughts on their game. They have a huge game tonight. Bengals Nation, ring in. Let's see if we can get them in fresh. Let's see if we can get them in, because that'd be an interesting take on our first review of the game. Let's get Bengals Nation in here right now. Let's get them on the screen. Let's get them on here right now.
Let's see if I can get. Let's see if we can get some Bengals Nation. Who they try and reach out to the good brother. Yeah, who they, man? They gotta fucking.
And matter of fact, we're gonna get Giants Nation on here too. We're gonna get Giants Nation on here too.
Is that right?
Yeah, we're gonna get Giants Nation on. JT, man, need you stay tuned, man. We're gonna get Giants Nation on here too. We want to get your thoughts on the game. Let's get you on here too, man, in a second, man, after we get done with Bengals Nation. Intriguing list of games today, bro. Intriguing list of games, man. Intriguing list.
Yes.
He said, I love wheat thins. I just said, so do Russ. Russ probably love him too. Russ love wheat thins too. Niggas trashing Russ, man. Russ had a very bad year, man. It's funny, man. You know what I mean? But I'm going to keep my insults on the field. I'm not going to talk about his character or nothing like that, because Russ ain't never did nothing. You know what I mean? Russ ain't did nothing.
True.
Russ done fed the dogs. He can kiss babies. Like, come on, man. Like, we ain't gonna do that to Russ. Like, damn, Russ had a shitty year. You know, we ain't gonna do that to Russ and start fucking with his character. We ain't gonna do that, man. Russ ain't never did nothing to nobody. Not that we know of. Put it that way. Not that we know of. Unless Russ is a shitty person behind closed doors. I mean, y'all get mad. I mean, how can you get mad at that man because he praying before games and like, come on, man. That's
that part, man.
You know,
that part I said that is cool. You know, why y'all hating on that, man? Everybody needs something to get them through their daily events. Man, have you do yours and have you get there. As long as you ain't busting nobody in my head. You know what I mean? Nobody in my family over the head, man. We all right. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, he ain't busting nobody in the head. Ain't no debauchery going on. Ain't no debauchery going on around here. You know, Russ just checking in, man. Russ real down to earth, man. They calling him cringy now. Like, come on, man. Like, really? So I guess if Russ had a bunch of tattoos and shit. If Russ had a bunch of tattoos, he was fucking people up, man. It'd be more respectable. Like, come on, man.
Right, I ain't got to hang with you or nothing like that, man. But you all right, guy, with me. You know, it's all good. You feel what I'm saying? It's all good.
So
we got Giants Nation in. Oh, we got Giants Nation. I'm working on Bengals Nation right here, man. But the good.
All right, man, let's get Giants Nation in here. Let's get it. Let's get Giants.
We got Giants Nation chiming in on this Sunday Nation. We got the good brother JT has been added to the stream, man.
Let's get Big Blue Nation. Big Blue Nation.
Yes, sir.
Big Blue Nation.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You made it into the big dance. You know what I mean? Not only did you make it, you stormed in. You almost pulled one off with the third and the fourth stringers on the last day of the season. How you feeling? Do you feel good today?
Oh man, I haven't felt this good since I had my first child, man.
Oh shit.
Oh,
I feel
okay.
Listen, I didn't expect this at all, man. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the season how many games we would have won, I would have said 4. So they've already exceeded my expectations.
Playing with house money right now.
Yeah, exactly. They've exceeded. Daniel Jones has definitely earned my respect, man. I mean, look Look at the wide receivers. He has practice squad wide receivers. I mean, look. I mean, just look. So he definitely deserves a new contract. Brian Dable, he's coach of the year. If they give it to anybody else, I got an issue with it.
If they give it to anybody else, you riot?
I'm riding, man. It's crazy, man.
Let's get to the game. Y'all got the Vikings, man. Y'all just played the Vikings to a real tight game. I know you wasn't happy with that. I'm gonna say there could be a moral victory in that, but moral victories is kind of for suckers. How you feel about the game today? Give me your keys to success, and then give me your score.
Well, let me just first say this. That game reminded me of when we played the Patriots, when we beat them in the Super Bowl. That's what that reminded me of. Because even in that loss, I felt great, man. We lost on a 61-yard field goal. That shouldn't even have happened because there was a holding call where Justin Jefferson got that big play. That's a holding call, so that shouldn't even have counted. We also, the interception that we dropped. So we should have won a game. So I felt good. Even with that loss, I felt good, man. We played great. The keys to victory, I would say to stay true to who we are. I've been a Giants fan since 1986. I was 7 years old. And our motto has always been run the ball, control the clock. That's and just manage the game as far as the quarterback is concerned. The defense, lights out. So stay to form. Don't change what they say. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Continue to run the ball. Continue to do that play action. Daniel Jones, continue to run. But I want you to slide, man. I don't want you to take no big hits today.
He's been doing a good job managing that, though. Yes. Daniel Jones has been very inconspicuous in his absence.
Absolutely.
Never heard anything from Daniel Jones, and that's a good thing. Absolutely. Daniel Jones has kept it very, very, very low key.
Absolutely. But I'm going to tell you what I'm most excited. Our defense. We have not had all of our starters in the entire game. We have everybody's back. Adoree is. Jerry's there. We got Thibodeau. We got McKinney.
Thibodeau has been turning into that guy over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yes, he's starting to remind me of.
He's looking like a game record.
Remind me of Michael Parsons out there.
He's looking like a game record. He's looking like a game record right now.
Yeah, but my excitement is really with Adoree Jackson coming back. That is key, having Adoree Jackson back. So listen,
can you pull it off? Can you pull it off today?
Absolutely. I'm very confident. I say
you're very on a confidence level. What's your confidence level from 1 to 10? Can you pull it off? Where are you at today?
I'm gonna say 8, man. 8 or 9.
Okay. Give me a score. Give me a score. For Giants Nation, give me a score.
I'm gonna say 24 to 21.
24-21. Okay.
I say a last second. They beat us on a last second field goal. We beat them on a last second field goal.
Return the favor. Fresh, what's your score? Give me your thoughts real quick. And then we're gonna get Bengals Nation in here.
Man, when I look at the Giants, man, I swear, man, I've been talking to JT all season about this. I'm like, man, they have maxed out their talent all season long, man. They've been punching a weight class or two above their weight class all season long, man. I can't front Brian Daboll. If he's not the coach of the year, you know what I'm saying, he's got to be second. He's been maxing out all of that talent all year long, man. They have not been playing losing football or tripping over their own feet. A lot of people say they're bereft of talent. They're another team that is out. We got to check out their strength and conditioning coach. They've had a numerous, amount of injuries and just, things like that. But it seems
next man up.
Right, but it seems
next man up.
If you get up and you the next man up, look, don't go out there hurting us. Don't go out there giving the other team the ball. Don't go out there doing nothing you can't do. Go out there and be you. Don't go out there and hurt the team. Go out there and do your job. With that being said, I'm not sure if that's going to be enough today to go into Minnesota and get them today.
Not today?
Actually, Minnesota was my pick to win the NFC. To win the NFC. I'm still sticking with that pick. I think it's going to be very, 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 very close. But I think Minnesota has also shown the propensity to win very close games themselves. They may not play the best brand of football when they getting their asses handed to them, but in close games this season, as opposed to last season, they have been winning those games this year. I think there's going to be nothing less than a knockdown, drag-out fight. It's indoors, so I think both teams can benefit from it not being out in the elements. So I think the offenses will both be able to flow. I think Minnesota Vikings is going to give up a couple points, but I also think when they get down, they're going to start throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson, and it's going to probably be something like 30-28. Minnesota pulls it out with a late field goal.
This game intrigues me. Minnesota is the weirdest team in the NFL from the standpoint of they've played in so many close games because they, like the Dallas Cowboys, have this trait that's scary. They play to the level of competition, and that leads to some of their close games. And another thing that they have that they're playing with is a pressure of expectations. On paper, filthy football team. Performance-wise, however, very, very, very underperforming. On paper, better team in the NFL. On the field, man, what the fuck is going on? With that being said, I got a close one as well. I think a field goal decides this one, or a late touchdown. I'm gonna say a late touchdown decides this one. And I think it's the Vikings, man. I think it's the Vikings. Although I think this is very close to a pick'em for me. But because I think of all the things that we've said about the Giants punching above their weight class, I think that they're playing with house money, and I think the clock rings 12 tonight. Give me the Vikings 28-24. 28-24 late touchdown wins in the game in Minnesota. But I expect a hell of a game from this one. Anything other than that, I will be totally shocked. I expect one hell of a game today because, the Giants coming out of that NFC East, they got a certain moxie, a certain toughness to them. I think the Vikings answer the bell today. The Vikings answer the bell in a late touchdown, but the Giants give them everything they ask for. They throw everything at the kitchen sink at them, man. They don't make too many mistakes. Daniel Jones is not all of a sudden today going to start throwing interceptions. I think it's a tight one. 28-24, that's my pick today. JT, we appreciate you checking in for Big Blue Nation, man. Anything you got out there for Big Blue Nation?
Let's go get this win, man. Let's get this win.
I can dig it, bro. Appreciate it, man. We love you, man. We love the support. We'll check back in with you later on, man, and see how you feeling. So we got both of us picking the Vikings, man. The tight one, you got them by a field goal. I got them by a late touchdown. We will see. We'll see. We'll see how Kirk and the boys hold up on paper. Like I said, man, that team is scary on paper. However, you don't play the games on paper. You play them on the field on Sundays and Saturdays and Mondays and Thursdays. So with that being said, we'll see what happens. We'll check in on that one. Let's get Bengals Nation in here, man, for the late game.
We sending a shout out to Bengals Nation. Who they representative Roe Burton, please check in. We would love to have that check in from Who They Nation. We've already been blessed. We were doing 32 fans, 32 teams. We had a Who They representative, Shan Woodard, man.
We had a Who They representative earlier.
Yeah, man. Who They it has been in the building and been in the building.
We got Niners Nation checking in too. Niners Nation checking in. Big win for them. Big win for Niners Nation.
I guess when you speak of the man, he will appear. I guess when you speak of the man, he will appear right on your screen, representing Who They Nation. They got a big one. They got a bold one. They got the Ravens coming in today, but it's the man came here to tell you about him. He is Who They Representative Nation, Representative Roe Burton.
Let's get it in. Let's get it.
What's up,
Let's
man?
get it properly clad too. I see properly clad. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's a big one today, man. It's a big one.
Before we touch on our game,
I was at that Eagles-Giants game last week, right?
All right.
And Saquon walking off that field told the Eagles fan, "See y'all in 2 weeks."
Ooh.
That's what he said. Those was the words that was the words he stated. That was his words. "See y'all in 2 weeks."
Let's see
Now,
if he's
he cashed
Nostradamus
that check.
then.
Now, can he cash the check that he put out there? I don't know. But
Well, it's a check now, but it wasn't a check. It wasn't a check until you said that. Now it's a check.
right now
Let's
he
see.
got to cash that check.
Let's see. That's a big statement, though. Let's see if that holds true, because that'd be some shit if it holds true. That'd be scary. That'd be scary.
Absolutely.
So give me your thoughts. Where are you at today, man? As far as first off, where you watching the game at? What you doing today?
I'm gonna be in the house watching the game, man. Like
Dolo, you ain't watching it with nobody?
No. I don't watch Bengals, man. I gotta like my wife was a Steelers fan, so I got a lot of hate in the crib, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
Okay.
Of hate. So, but what I'm saying is, It's a third time playing them. It's a conference game.
That's always dangerous, man.
You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson not playing, so you really can't game plan for Lamar Jackson. I just think we got to keep our foot on the pedal, and we got to show now that we got to take it to another level. We got to show that we want to get back to the Super Bowl and that we're not a one-hit wonder.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say fresh. Any thoughts on that? Because I definitely don't think the one-hit wonder thing would be appropriate, because I think you guys have probably the swaggiest quarterback to come along since Broadway Joe. And Joey B gives off real Joe Montana. I can't bet against this dude vibes. Right? I don't even feel right saying at this point in time in the year, I don't feel good saying somebody gonna beat Big Game Joe. I don't feel right saying it. So that's got to be an extremely confident thing walking into the game today.
Yeah.
To me.
I believe we just our O-line just got to protect him. That's it. You know what I mean? We've been up and down. You know what I mean? They've been giving him a little protection these past couple of weeks, and we just got to make plays. And defense got to get off the field on third downs. That's it.
Well, a microcosm of that is the fact that I think a lot of the early season struggles came with the fact that coming off of that Super Bowl, when you do have the detriment of the difficult schedule. Mm-hmm. So you're coming out the gate, probably the first 3-4 weeks you're playing all marquee games. So that's a big factor as well. So you weather that storm and get to the quote unquote soft spot in the middle of the schedule where you get that traction. Right, and now here you are.
You know, in the beginning, Joe Burrow didn't play preseason at all.
And you have those things as well.
So the first couple of weeks was pretty much his preseason. So there was no rhythm for him. There was no nothing. So coming out the gate this year, we lose a couple games. Everybody, damn, they one-hit wonders. I knew they wasn't going to do this. But keep in mind, he didn't play in the preseason. And once he got them couple weeks under his belt, he been smooth sailing.
Oh, yeah, you get some traction. Once you get some traction, once you get some traction and you kind of, get your legs under you. But and that's part of becoming a great football team. You know what I mean? Because people discount this about, that long Patriots run. The most impressive thing to me about that is because when you win that much for that long, you don't get a soft schedule for the most part.
No.
You get a difficult schedule year in and year out. You're playing on TV. You're playing on TV nearly every fucking week. So you gotta have this level of intensity and sustained success and preparation. Those things count. You have to have that week in, week out, because you're the hunted. Absolutely. You don't come into the season with the benefit of being, that's just the Bengals. I want to shut Joe up.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Brother, when I look at who they Bengals Nation, when I look at them right here, right now in the AFC, you got your Buffalo Bills out there. Okay, they've been pretty good. You also have your Kansas City Chiefs out there. They're pretty good. Perennial guys that's out there. Me, myself, I look at them. I look at you guys as the most balanced, well-rounded team out there. Mm-hmm. With that being said, I actually think you guys are going back to the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure you think you're going back to the Super Bowl, but do you think that you are the most well-rounded, most balanced team in the playoffs right here, right now?
To believe it or not, I believe we're the best team in the AFC, and I'm not just saying that because we're a fan. because I'm a fan. I mean, I just like the way we went out and we beefed up our O-line. We had O-line trouble. We went and added some pieces to that. And I think Joe Burrow and his receiving core, I think they got a good chemistry. And adding Hayden Hurst, you know what I mean? We added some pieces to take the pressure off of Jamar Chase, whereas though it ain't always got to be a big play downfield to Jamar Chase. Now T. Higgins is coming into his own. Tyler Boyd is doing his thing. You know what I mean? Joe Mixon doing it in the running game. P. Ryan coming in when Joe Mixon was out. I mean, we won some key games with
Even
Jamar
mixing in
Chase
the
out.
tight end in there. What's the tight end's name? Is it
Hayden Hurst. And
Yeah,
Irwin.
Hayden Hurst.
And
That's
Irwin.
big. I think his emergence has been big.
Yeah, and then us winning games without when Jamar Chase was out with the hip injury,
Huge.
and then
Huge.
Joe Mixon out with the concussion. Like we won them games that they was out. So it's not they depend on Jamar Chase or they depend on Joe Mixon. Nah, we got players that's ready to step in. You know what I mean? And the Chiefs, I mean, quiet as cat, we got their number. Look at the last 3 times we played them.
Yeah.
Let the record reflect.
That can't be understated. That can't be understated. The fact that for, let's say, the general consensus is that the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes is probably the favorite. Unfortunately, I don't feel that way when they play the Bengals. I just don't. I don't feel that way. I feel like they're the underdog when they play the Bengals. So to the Chiefs' benefit, they probably hope you guys lose because I don't think they want to run into you. Of course, they probably from a competitive standpoint. You're not gonna say you don't want to play somebody, but I don't think they want to play the Bengals. I don't. I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't think they want to play the Bengals.
I really think us against the Bills. I mean, the way we marched down the field that first drive with no pushback, and it was. I just think we playing at a good space right now, and with this time of the season. And I mean, it was the tragic thing that happened in the Bills game. I get all that. You know what I mean? My respect and prayers out to him, and he keep getting better. You know what I mean? But just speaking on the actual, if the game would have been played, I think we'd have ran it up on them. I don't think the Bills. I don't think the Bills. I just think our offenses right now, man. They just ready. I think they hungry for getting back. I think that game was stolen from us last year in the Super Bowl. I think a couple calls went the other way. You know what I mean? I really think that game was stolen from us. You know what I mean? So it's
tell them why you really mad.
Yeah, I mean, I think we ready to get back where we supposed to be.
So an aspect that we have not touched on on that team, which has emerged recently. Speak to the defense before we get your pick as far as the score. Speak to the defense.
Defensively, with Herbert, you know what I mean, and then with Jesse Bates in the back, you know what I mean. I think that D line is really getting the pressure. You know what I mean, and we just really. We had a problem with, like, if you've been watching the Bengals for a year, like, I didn't just become a Bengals fan. Like, you know what I mean? I've been a Bengals fan when Carson Palmer was there. Like, I'm a USC guy, so I'm not just jumping on a bandwagon. You know what I mean? Then my man that I went to high school with, Devin Steele, he got drafted to the Bengals. Like, we went to Howard together. Like, I'm a Bengals fan. I'm really a fan. I'm a Bengals fan. So in that aspect of it, the defense could never really get off the field on third downs. If you remember the Bengals and Steelers rivalries, like third down hurt us. You know what I mean? So us getting the players that we needed for that defense with Herbert coming amongst his own, Reader in there, like we ready. Like I just think the defense is ready to make a statement that you're just not going to do what you want on our defense no more. Like we got to.
So let's get to the score. What do the Bengals need to do well to win this game? And give me a score.
We have to protect Joe Burrow. We cannot let him take too many hits today. He shouldn't, and I don't think if he don't take many hits, I think we handle business without any pushback. And my score today, I'm gonna say 35-14.
Okay. So easy. So going away, a win going away. What you thinking, Fresh? Great word. What's your thoughts? Where you at?
Man, like I said, man, I think the Bengals is the most balanced team offensively, defensively, pass defense, run defense, passing, running, Mixon, P. Ryan, Boyd, Higgins, Hurst, Chase, the O-line. Like you said, Bates is. I'm a fucking fan of Bates on defense, but like you said, the whole defense has been playing well, and I actually think they've been a little bit understated. You feel what I'm saying? Like you said, getting off the field on third down was hurting them. But I think them staying out of some critical third down situations that was advantageous to them, and them winning on first and second down, which leads to them having a better defense. I think that's going a little bit understated. I think it's a romp my damn self. I think Who They Nation get their thing off on a motherfucking divisional rival, something to the tune of about 37-10. Yeah.
I think that's a consensus thought. I think playing a division rival has got to add a little more spice to it for the Bengals. I think this Ravens team, I think from what I'm reading, they're going on a quarterback by committee thing today. That's not good. That's not good for them. I think they win this going away. I think they turn up on them too. I think it might be bad, man. I think they turn up on them, and not bad from the standpoint of like 30 or 40 something. I just think it's total domination on stage today. Might be something to the tune of like 28-3 or 28-7, something like that. I just think it's total domination on stage, man. This won't be pretty. Joe right now is probably Joe Namath reincarnated, man. Just the swag and the confidence dripping off this dude, man, is unmatched. He knows he's the best quarterback in the league right now at this time. It's money time. Joe Burrow feels in his heart and he exudes that he's the best quarterback, bar none, period. I don't care about Josh Allen. I don't care about Patrick Mahomes. I don't care about no quarterback. This is my time. I'm Joey B. This is what I do. You know what I mean? Check in, get in line, and watch the show. And that's the impression that I get from Joe. And I'm not betting against that. I picked the Chiefs. I picked the Chiefs. And that pick is, because everybody thought that Patrick was going to fall off without Tyreek Hill. And unfortunately for everybody, I told everybody, what did I say, Fresh? The league played them a certain way with Tyreek. He got used to it, and he became more dangerous. But with that being said, I would not be shocked to see Joey B and the boys do the thing to him and get back to the bowl. Wouldn't be shocked at all. Wouldn't be shocked. But I got the Bengals today, man. I got the Bengals today. Pretty much in a dominant fashion, man. Like, I think they're gonna turn up on them. I think you get multiple turnovers today. It's a Bengals party today. That stadium gonna be rocking.
Mm-hmm.
Rocking. They're gonna be rocking, man. They're gonna be rocking. Well, it's a pleasure having you in, bro. We appreciate it, man. It's always great to get a fan in, man, especially a diehard, man. What's on the menu for today? What's on the table? What kind of dip you eating? What's the wing? What's the wing look like?
We on Ravens food today, man. That's what we on today.
This that Ravens pack?
We on Ravens pack today, man. Ravens pack.
Foul.
That's what we on, man. I'm locked in. I'm ready for the run. I mean,
I can dig it.
None of the
y'all got the prime timer too. Y'all got the prime time game.
Time for nothing. It's Joe Shiesty.
I feel you, man. Shout out to Bengals Nation, man. Shout out to the Who Days, man.
It's always love, man.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate it. We might check in later on, man, with the results, and maybe get you in and get that post-game reaction, maybe, man. So just stay tuned. Man. We might. If
I'm around.
I'm old, so you know what I mean. I might be knocked out by the time the game over with. So I might take a nap in between that Vikings Giants game just to stay up for the late one. So we'll see, man. We appreciate it though. We appreciate it.
No problem.
Enjoy your game, man. Enjoy your game either way.
Who They Nation checking in on the check-in, man.
I love it, man. I love it. Can we get somebody from the Niners gang, man? Bang bang Niners game in here, man.
They've been all over the town. They like the toast of the town. They dance.
Oh yeah. They talk heavy too, man.
They bang Niners gang. They all around. They got all the fresh memes and gifts. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at us. You know what I'm saying? They're a huge. You know what I'm saying? And a loud bunch. Now, see,
they got a huge contingent, man. They got a huge contingent.
Yeah,
I don't like on the low, man. The Niners is kind of like that underlying like rival. Like, I hate them from the 80s. You know what I mean? Because if it wasn't for them, we would have been considered the team of the 80s. You know what I mean? So I got a little disdain for them. I ain't really feeling them. You know what I mean? I don't fuck with Niners Nation. You know what I mean? I got a little disdain in my heart for the Niners, man. That's one of them old school one of them old school dominant teams, man. I'm pissed off, man, because for the last 27 years, we haven't been able to add anything to, we got some classic games with the Niners, man. But, over the last 27 years, thanks to Dan Snyder, man, we haven't really been able to contribute much to, the history. But, shout out to Niners Nation, man. I hate y'all, but I feel y'all talking heavy right now. The Niners feel like they're the number one team in the league, period. Like they going to the bowl. That's how they feeling right now. They feeling some kind of way, man. Niners got all, like you said, they got all the snappy memes and gifts. Yeah, Niners game is
that, man. When I check, my feeler out checking on my football fans on Monday mornings, man. Bang Bang Niner gang be in the building. You know what I'm saying?
They be in the building.
They're a large. They be in the building.
They're animated bunch, man. They're animated bunch.
Yeah, man.
They're an animated bunch, man.
It's a lot of good brothers. You got Cam Benson, man. You got cousin D-Rock. Oh man, bro, Lively. Live.
Oh man,
it's a lot of.
You got D-Rock. You got the whole. You got damn near the whole Wallace clan. Freaks talking heavy. It's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of them out there,
man.
So let's get to this last game. Let's get to the first game of the day. My bad. I'm sorry. The first game of the day. Iceman, Ghetto Babies, beloved Miami Dolphins versus the Bills Mafia. AFC East showdown at Orchard Park. This one lost a little luster off of it because Tua's not available. And we really don't know who's going to be playing for. Hey, listen, I might be able to catch a flight down there. What time is it? Nah, I can't.
You got your playbook?
I ain't got my. I can't make it. But it'll be a surprise, I guess. Game time to see who the Dolphins trot out there. Could be Skyler, could be Teddy. I don't know. Could be a surprise. Who knows? But the Dolphins still have some of the sleekest toys in the yard. So let's never get that fucked up. They have some of the sleekest toys in the yard in Tyreek Hill and Waddle. So let's not get that fucked up. But on the other hand, looks like the Bills might be riding a fairy tale situation here. It's a lot of conspiracy theorists that's saying, oh man, it's already written now. Put the Bills in the Super Bowl. It's the Bills season. You know what I mean? That's what the conspiracy theorists say. What's your thoughts on this game, bro? Talk to me, man. Talk to the people.
I mean, with a game like this, with a storyline behind it such as it is, man, you can almost, like I say, man, can you hear the music playing? So like, what you mean? Oh, that's that Disney music playing in the background. That's the Disney.
Gotta sell DVDs, baby.
Right, what I'm saying, when the tables are turning and, so you hear the music playing, oh, what happened? Oh, the hero just went down. I don't think you understand. This is movie type of stuff going on in Buffalo, man. And sometimes, man, too many things line up against you, man. I mean, Buffalo, don't get it twisted. They already were a pretty damn good team without, you having your backup or your backup's backup going into Buffalo to play them. You guys played valiantly with your injured first-string quarterback. Couldn't pull out the victory. You know what I'm saying? It took almost like heat wave, heat shock the first fucking game for you to beat Buffalo at home. So that doesn't bode well with everything going on. Actually, the good brother Damar Hamlin was actually, I want to say he was at the facilities yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
He's probably gonna be at the game today.
Okay. That's like summoning up, man. The spirits of Bill Russell, man. How can you beat this shit? You have everyone in a 3 or 4 state radius, and anyone who is not an objectively a Miami Dolphins fan is against you. For no good reason at all. You know what I'm saying? Just like you guys don't have Damar Hamlin on your team. You guys are not going through anything right now. We're actively rooting against against the Miami Dolphins for no other reason than because we're rooting heavily for Damar Hamlin and his team.
Nothing personal. Yeah, nothing personal. We just root for Damar Hamlin. That's it.
Right. It's going to be so hard to overcome that. Like I said, they're a pretty good team anyway. You guys are going to be on at least your backup, if not third string. all the elements are ripe in play for this to be a stomping as well. I think Diggs might go off a little bit. I think Gabe Davis catches a couple passes. Actually think Josh Allen kind of runs over and do around or over top of
Over top.
today.
Over top,
today.
absolutely.
I don't think this game's going to be close because I don't think Miami can get the requisite points consistently. I think there will be at least one or two maybe breakout plays from Waddle or the Cheetah. I don't think there'll be enough because I think there's going to be some breakout plays due to just everything that's just behind the Buffalo Bills.
This avalanche or this avalanche of emotion, you know.
Can you feel it? Can you
Yeah.
feel it? You hear the music?
It's in the air.
Feel it?
It's in the air, man. I hear the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's gonna be.
I hear the music, all that. I hear it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's gonna
Tyreek
be
don't give a
jumping
damn
off
about a
of
storyteller.
RVs.
He don't got to. Tyreek don't have to give a damn. Unfortunately, this might be too much for the Cheetah. He's only one man. He's only one man.
See the thing about that is I totally and consistently 100% believe in Tyreek Hill, the Cheetah, deuces. But at the same point, I do not have nowhere near the same belief as the guy who will be deemed as throwing him the ball today. You feel what I'm saying?
This is literally, let's not get this mistaken. This is a totally different team without Tua Tagovailoa slinging the pill. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. They went through a losing streak with Tua at quarterback. We seen what they look like last week without Tua. It was all field goals. I don't think anything changes this week. I think the Bills win this one mighty handily. And I think they're looking for blood. And I think it'll be to the tune of 35 to maybe 10.
Yeah,
35 to 10. I hope not, for the sake of me being a football fan and me wanting to see a good game. I hope not. I hope that the Dolphins go out and they just prove me wrong all across the board. But I doubt it. What's your score?
Man, I think it's going to be kind of close. Well, I'll put it like this. I think it may even be closer if Teddy Bridgewater plays. It's not looking like he's going to play. It's looking like it's going to be Skylar Thompson. And I don't think that's just, man, this is playoff football now. This isn't even, week 18 football. This is playoff football. You got different forces behind this. It's going to be very, there's a hyper focus because there's a more motivating factor behind somebody getting their ass kicked today. You feel what I'm saying? So I think just
Miami, a footnote
man,
today, man. You're a footnote in the DeMar Hamlin story today, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think you just may be a bug on the windshield or on the grill of a motherfucking GMC Tahoe today. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen, Bills Mafia get their comeuppance today, man. I think you're just a footnote in the DeMar Hamlin story. I'm sorry, man. That's my pick. Well, that wraps up another post game show, man. Let's talk a little shit, you know what I mean, in terms of just football in general, just football itself, just regular football. Let's talk about the Bears right here. Because the Bears own the number one pick, right? And I know we discussed this a little bit Tuesday, but I wanted to sum up some thoughts on this. You've been very vocal in terms of your disdain for not the Bears itself, but more or less Bears culture and Bears management. Where are you on what they do with this pick?
Me, myself, I think right now, even though I think what they should do with this pick is, since I think Justin Fields has shown requisite enough talent, success for you to parlay this first number one overall pick, not to go and draft something, but go and parlay into as many picks resources, assets as you can garner to fill the many vast holes on offense that you have had for many years.
You know they're gonna pick an edge rusher, right? You know they're gonna pick an edge rusher. You know that, right?
Man, look.
You know that, right? I'm just saying. I just want you to be prepared for it.
They may pick an inside. I would not fault. I mean, I would not be surprised if they pick the number one safety in the draft. I would not be surprised in that. You feel what I'm saying?
You know they're gonna do that, though, right?
They may. That's why they've been so offensively inept for so many years, man. It's like, yo, what are you doing? But if I was them, I would take the number one overall pick, and whoever needs a quarterback or needs the number one overall pick, hey, man, it's on the table. What's the best offer you can give me? Oh, we got a couple ones, couple twos, and maybe even a player. All right, cool. What do you have for me? Oh, we got this player and a couple ones. All right.
Because like I said, I just don't think I don't think you could justify getting. Now, I think the only other position that typically is allowed or let me say supported in this particular position are typically there's only three positions at this position that won't get you clowned. It's quarterback, it's game-wrecking interior defensive lineman, and Hall of Fame offensive lineman. Those are the three picks, because those are the three picks that typically you see at the number one or number two slot that is acceptable. Can't justify picking a wide receiver in this position, which they need. Can't justify picking a running back in this position, which they need. And not only that, there's nobody worthy of those two positions that you could pick number one. So that tells me you got to take that pick and change it into assets for a team that needs a quarterback. And I'm looking to fleece somebody. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm looking to fleece somebody. So if you call me, listen, you might as well expect not to pick again in the first round for the next 3 years, conceivably. And not only that, you may be picking number one, but you might as well go home the first day, because you won't be picking until the fifth round. You won't be picking until the fifth round. So you got to be a team with a lot of assets, like the Jets or something like that. You've got to be a team with a lot of assets, willing to part with a lot of assets, because I'm looking to cash out and improve my team by leaps and bounds with this pick. That's my thought process.
Now, that's one thing I'm saying. I'm piggybacking and agreeing with you 100%. I hope they take your advice and pick some offensive linemen for once in their life that can protect the quarterback long enough to be evaluated to see if he's a professional quarterback. I think that all football teams should be built, or the best ones should be built from the middle out. And that means the lines in the trenches should be solidified. The Bears, for some reason, have never, ever understood the concept of pass blocking, because all they do is run with 7 linemen and run the ball.
It's time for a change in Chicago.
It's time for a change.
It's time for a philosophy change, identity change.
It's gotta be, man.
Yeah. So listen, couple of quick ones. As far as just some quick hitters. Let's talk to, just some finals, some finals. I guess awards. Let's give some postseason awards. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, in your opinion. Give me your thoughts.
Well, Defensive Rookie of the Year, that's easy. Sauce. Defensive Rookie of the Year. I want to say he made first team All-Pro.
If not, I know he's worthy of it. But I think actually there's an argument where I think the kid from there was another rookie, numbers wise was better, but it's the age-old argument of nobody's throwing that Sauce for the most part. You know what I mean? Sauce stood out this year as the guy. So I'm going to go with Sauce myself. I was a fan of Sauce. I wanted to draft Sauce. I thought he was a generational talent at the corner from what I saw at Cincinnati. I thought he was going to be the guy, and he turned out to be what I thought he was going to be. So shout out to Sauce, man. I think you got it. As far as offensive rookie of the year, that's a different one because I think there are, and I don't want to just relegate it to one conference or the other. I just look at it from an overall perspective. I think going in the first, before he got hurt, I think Breece Hall was running away with it. I mean, he was, and I think him going down sort of was almost, you can time it with the downtick of the Jets. This year produced a ridiculous amount of great rookies. I think the rookie class of wide receivers that came out this year may down the line turn out to be one of the best. You got Chris Olave down in New Orleans, who was incredible. Garrett Wilson, Sauce's teammate. My guy, Jahan Dotson, missed 5 or 6 games and still I think he put up more touchdowns than all of them. Yeah. So there was some very, very intriguing. Seattle had a bevy of rookie running backs that produced like crazy. It was a very, very impressive offensive rookie class this year. So shout out to the rookie class this year. I'm going to go with, I will go with Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave. Shout out to Brock Purdy too, man. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, showed that it's not about arm talent. It's not about arm talent. It's literally about preparation. It's about moxie and confidence and about accuracy.
Yes, it is.
Arm talent, I am now off of the arm talent bandwagon. Because at the end of the day, arm talent can only get you so far. Arm talent a lot of times gets you in trouble. Arm talent gets you in trouble.
You're right.
Arm talent definitely gets you in trouble. But yeah, shout out to Brock Purdy because it's odd that they will go into next season fully behind him 100%, regardless of what happens. Unless anything short of him going out and throwing 6 interceptions next game, they'll be behind him 100%. And I think they should because he's shown enough. Not only that, you drafted him. I'm always going to support the guy I drafted until I know he can't play.
Right.
Now, what that does for Trey Lance, I don't know. Maybe you deal that guy. Maybe you deal him. Maybe you deal him because at this point he's an asset and you may be able to get something for him. I don't know. I might deal him. I very well might deal him. I know that the Jets are looking for a quarterback, and I notice that team keeps coming up a lot, but it's a team that's on the cusp. The defense is phenomenal up there. That was a playoff defense. It was a playoff defense. They were a quarterback short. If we didn't have our quarterback in place, I'm glad. I'm happy with how Sam Howell played in his last game. A lot of our fan base is saying, "Oh, that's not enough." No, it is enough. I'm going to support the guy I drafted. I'm going to throw everything at him to support him. Go into the draft some offensive linemen to shore that up because now we have some pleasant surprises all over the field. The problem was quarterback. He's shown he's got the accuracy. He's got the toughness. He actually does have a big arm, and he's got legs. He got wheels. I'm going to throw everything at him. We drafted him. Why not support the guy you drafted?
Why not?
I'm not looking because a lot of the fan base. Oh man, let's give Carson. Let's give what's my man? Derek Carr a shot. No, haven't we learned our lesson with Fitzpatrick and Carson Wentz and Alex Smith? And I mean, you can go down the line. Have we learned our lesson with that?
Well, a lot of people, man, a lot of people don't understand that. It was like, okay, well, it don't really take that much. Everybody's the same kind of talent level. It doesn't take that much. You've seen what you've seen of Derek Carr. Great guy, pretty good football player. Don't you wish that don't you think that you have that on your team with the right same amount of preparation, the same amount of due diligence, same amount of practice,
same amount of focus? It's all about support, man. When you got support from top to bottom and no doubts until put it this way, it's one thing to say, oh, we'll just go with what we got. No, it's got to be a vote of confidence.
Right.
It's got to be a vote of confidence. If you don't have a vote of confidence, then it's a domino effect. You got to have a vote of confidence.
Dog, we picked you. We have to believe in you. I mean, I would believe that that's probably not everybody's mind state, but that would be my mind state. Like, dog, we picked you. I would not have, if I didn't believe in you, I would not have picked you. You feel what I'm saying? So now, when we come to this point to where it's your shot, I'm not here to trip you up. I'm not here to, put obstacles in your way. I'm actually here, and I hope we all moving in the same direction to actually support you, put you in the best situation, that you can be in to succeed, and place all the things around you the best we can for you to do that. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm totally with that, and I don't understand why teams don't understand. Why a lot of fans of teams don't understand that. Like, yo, pick your guy and coach your guy up. But one thing one thing I have noticed is quarterback coach is probably one of the most overrated positions in football, because there's not a lot of quarterback coaching, because quarterbacks just don't get that much fucking better. They're like, you either suck or you're good. And they say,
one final question.
Gotcha.
One final hot button question before we get out of here. Have we seen the last of Lamar Jackson in a Ravens uniform?
It definitely feels that way. It feels that way. It feels that way because it feels like, to me, I think Lamar is legitimately hurt. And I actually think that the Ravens, even though they ain't saying it, but I think the feeling is he's not hurt enough to not be out there with his guys. So that it's feeling like a divorce, because there's so many things on different sides. Like, look, I want this amount of money. Yeah, but you haven't played full seasons for us. Yeah, but I'm an MVP. Yeah, but you have been hurt. Yeah, but you haven't put the team around me. Yeah, but you can't throw that good. You feel what I'm saying? When it comes down to
when you're saying that many buts, it's almost like you're giving yourself an excuse.
Right. All these things is coming up, and I just say, this is where I take the macro at. I'm like, well, if we can assure ourselves of getting a quarterback of Lamar Jackson talent, we can just let him go. Unfortunately, I don't think the odds are that great of us just going and getting a Lamar Jackson type talent.
Take it from me. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. That has only happened a few times in history. That doesn't happen a lot.
Right. So regardless of people being injured, missing games, being a quarterback stronger in this and weaker in that, if we can't go get Lamar Jackson or equivalent to, we're going to keep him. And if I'm the GM, if we're going to keep him, let's identify that first. Let's sign him early so the cost does not keep running us up every time this thing's run up.
Yeah,
and he'll
absolutely
be in the fold, and we won't have to worry about any of this.
I think they blew it last year. Because ultimately, I'm a big proponent of not fleecing your team when you're the quarterback. But unfortunately, I don't blame anybody for getting their money. I just believe that when you get your money and you break the team, then you can't complain about the team stinking later. So with that being said, what I think is they blew it last year because they had a rare opportunity to sign him to a big money deal, but also have the flexibility of knowing that the salary cap is going to go up this year. So you get more money to improve your team. So I think they blew that opportunity last year. So we'll see how this plays out. But I too agree that I think that we may have seen Lamar Jackson in his last days as a Raven. He would look nice in Raider Black. He looked nice in Raider Black.
I think no. I take that back. I don't think we've seen the last of Lamar Jackson in a Ravens uniform. I think we've seen the last of happy Lamar Jackson in a Ravens uniform, because I actually think he comes back and plays with the franchise tag. But after that, I think he just becomes a free agent. Okay.
That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, man. Well, let's wrap this up, man. What you eating today? First for lunch or for dinner? What you eating?
Well, I was out this morning, give me a little breakfast, get my vittles. I got my chips, I got my dip, but I also picked me up a chicken Caesar wrap. You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm going to smash that down a little bit later, and then I'm going to get you my chips and my dip and my usual dark beverages and dark party favors as I please.
Absolutely. So with that being said, Mr. Fire and Ice Experience, we appreciate y'all walking with us again. It is game day, almost game time. Shout out to all 32 teams and all fans of 32 teams. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all rocking with us. Y'all can be anywhere y'all want, man, but y'all chose to be here with us. We appreciate it. Fresh, we out of here, bro.
We live at the Fire Nights podcast, man, and it's certain moments that you have when you do these things, and I think it's more the moment.
These guys came from Woodland, Delaware.
Where was you from?
Now, who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's Let me see him. Let me see him. Let me see him. Let me see him.
Listen, man, it's your boy